go, yeah, go, go,
Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Four. Lord. Yeah, that's fine. It just doesn't have anything on it, that's all. It's okay. No one can see that. It's okay. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to. I'm gonna turn this down because the mic is actually working this week. Welcome to episode 42. 42 weeks
Hello.
of us doing this shit. So we're gonna give a few minutes because we're actually sort of on time today. So give a few people a couple extra minutes to attend. In the meanwhile, I guess we'll do our regular things. Tonight's show is gonna be a little different. Hopefully a little different. We don't usually talk about topics per se, unless they just mostly pertain to me and talking shit. So, yeah, if anyone while we're at it, if anyone saw the post yesterday where I was like, it's funny when customers come in and say, hey, I love the store. This is where I come to get all my cigars. That's great, but we don't carry cigars. Or, I bought this here before, and remember when I got this? No, man, we do not carry that product at all. I've never seen that in my life, and I'm here every day. No, I bought it here 2 weeks ago, or last year. No, ma'am, I'm afraid not. You did not buy that. Yes, I did, because some person sold it to me. So it's crazy. Anyway, that happened this morning. So coincidentally, I mean, it happens semi-regular, but this morning it happened. Right off the bat, someone came in, first customer of the day, and it's like, hey, blah, 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 blah. We're talking, and I mean, everything's cool, copacetic, AF. And he says, yeah, I know the owner. I went to school with the owner. Used to go see him back out at the flea market. He's a good guy. And I just wanted to be like, either thanks or like, dude, I'm the fucking guy. Like I'm the guy. So it's me. And it's just funny because some people will recognize me from high school, which is from before Christ. So it's very unusual when people would recognize me from school because I did have long hair and I didn't have the tattoos.
Change a lot?
Not a lot, but I look different than I did 20 years ago. Or 30 years
So it's
ago,
hard to
like
recognize?
before Christ. I definitely look different than I did in the days before there was anything such as structured government or electricity. I do look different than I did then. But since 2000, since this store has been around, since 2003, since at least 2009, I look the same. And I've had the tattoos for a while now. And I don't think I'm all that outstanding. But between the fucking raggedy ass voice, goddamn bulletproof pinky, and stupid, matching opposite tattoos, I maybe you would remember me at some point, especially if you came to me. So anyway, whatever. It's funny. It's just funny when people are like, hey, yeah, I know that guy, and we hung out and blah blah blah, and I'm like, Am I here? It's me. So it's just funny.
And I'm curious, somebody called this morning in the store. Hey, are you guys do
Yeah, somebody
show?
called. Somebody called the
Are you
store.
watching?
It was like, yeah, it's a show
Are you
on
watching?
tonight.
Please comment. I'm gonna give you
Yeah,
something.
if the person, did someone call the store and asked if there was going to be another show tonight?
Yeah.
All right, so now that we are at some sort of a capacity for viewership, 10:06 in the PM, we will get the party started now, progressing. If you haven't watched the show, if you're new to the show, this is it. So, but we do a Mr. Rogers thing, because in an ode to Mr. Rogers and my affinity and affection for shoes,
Hello,
which
monkey.
tonight's shoes are actually really special because I hardly ever wear these, and they are some of my favorite
That's
shoes,
cool.
and they're really comfortable too. But they are like some sort of, I don't fucking boot. I don't know, but they're actually reflective too. Like this is like a reflector type material, and it doesn't look like it. But anyway, but they're Nikes. So that's the coolest thing about them, is that I wear a lot of like tennis shoe type shoe, Adidas and things, and Nikes, and like these are Nikes. They're like Nikes and Timberlands had a baby and look cool, and the laces don't. The laces really, they're the original laces. So
Hello, Ryan.
I wanted to leave it alone. But yeah, they're the original laces, but they're hard to match. So I got my shroom. Oh man, I can't be tall enough to show you my shirt. Oh my God. Okay,
You
well
can
it says
jump.
shroom, but it's in the font and colors of doom. And look, it matches these laces.
Yeah, there are some new people here.
So it's like Doom, but Shroom, because it's Mario. Whatever. If you're not a nerd, don't fucking worry about it. So, Ryan OC, did you happen to call the store today and ask if there was going to be another show tonight?
He said today is the first time, but he didn't say that called this
Well, yeah,
morning.
because he tuned in after we just said that.
Yeah. Are you calling store today?
Well, welcome to the show, Ryan.
Yeah.
I think most everyone else is pretty. Let's see, Hison, Brown. The profile picture is too small to gender identify. Look, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say anything because the picture is too small, and I can't see. I already can't see. Picture is too small, but person of last name Brown, Hison, thank you for watching and welcome to the show.
Daniel's here.
Daniel Cornell. I hope that your wife
And
is not
Monkey.
gonna hate me later,
And a
but
Q.
I'm gonna talk about
yeah.
some of her comments in particular, which I really do appreciate. Brad got the joke. Hey, Caitlin, what's up, Caitlin? I did not say hello to the Marlows, but hello, you're always here and much appreciated. So cool.
Yes.
Let's do our cheers so that we can get on with the show and on with the show.
Actually, we met the friends at the bar today.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of shots.
Let me let's do our cheers. Also, if you're new to the show, we're not used to having new people too much. Actually, it's just 42 times. After 42 times, you get tired of everyone that's new, so you just assume everyone's already been here before. For the new people, we will get to giveaways in a minute, and the giveaways are usually the focus, but tonight's show is going to be a little bit different and more on topics, I guess, so we can dedicate more time to that and including, hopefully, other opinions and stuff. But anyway, we do cheers. And so whenever you're watching this show, you're supposed to already be prepared with your 420 supplies, as you should.
Hello.
And so
Jenny.
then we say, cheers.
Everybody here.
So we can all do it together.
Monkey, Q, Jeremy is here. Hello. Our team.
Yay! I guess I need to. I'm gonna do a shot tonight. We're gonna rock with some 99 butterscotch. And actually, I wanted to do the show. I wanted to be here a little bit more sobery. I wanted to be a little bit more sober.
But it's not
But yeah, I ran into a friend during our pregame and
big
did
pregame.
yeah, I drank more than I
He gave me shots
Then I
about this much
planned.
size.
and we were supposed to
This much size shots.
yeah, but so I'm not as sober as I was that I planned to be, and then
Now again.
now I got so. I would say we'll do less, but we're obviously going to do the same amount as we normally do for the show anyway. But anyway, cheers. Cheers. Cheers to the other cheers.
Hey.
Because, yes, we always do one cheers for the dry material, for the 420s. And we also do cheers for the people that have to keep their job and that just maybe don't smoke or only drink. So he already said, you know what? I'm going to see if I can adjust this right quick. I'm sorry, everyone, but every oh, fuck.
Oh.
So sorry, like what we see just went black. But okay, what I'm trying to do right now that y'all can't see is, there it goes again, I can't see. Trying to adjust the comments field so that I can see what you're saying on top of not being able to read or see. So, but at least now the sentences are not cut off. He already sawed. Oh, okay. So that wasn't me. That's just because you can't spell. That's just, he already sawed.
What's that? What does
You'd
it
be
mean?
a little
Sold?
saucy.
Sold.
That means you can't spell. It's saw.
Ah.
It's supposed to be saw. Said. It's supposed to
said.
say said. Yeah, it's supposed to say said. He already sawed.
Little saucy.
It's just said. Yeah, saucy is
Sauce? Soy sauce?
no. Saucy means like drunk or tipsy. Or, you know what tipsy means?
I know drunk.
You don't know what tipsy means?
I don't know.
Tipsy means drunk, like can't walk straight.
Oh, like
Yeah, see, tipsy.
I can do this.
You can do all kind of stuff. So, but, all right. Good night, guys.
See you.
Yeah, well, good show. All right, well, I want to get right into the talk. I don't have nothing to make a drink with.
Why?
Oh, I guess I could use this.
Yeah,
From
Cornell.
my friend Cornell. From
Cornell.
Cornell Rough comes Svedva vodka for birthday.
Mango pineapple.
Mango pineapple from Sweden.
Mango pineapple.
With 35% alcohol by volume, 70 proof. So that means you have that means
Monkey
that,
said
what?
tipsy means little drunk. Little means tiny.
Well,
Little bit same as a little bit cute. Like a little bit cute means a lot of cute.
No, well, maybe. No, what she's saying, what I'm going to say, Monkey is saying is drunk. I mean, is wrong. Is no, because you can't be, all right, people watching, here's your first bit of interactivity. Everyone watching. I don't give a shit whose side you're on, if you like Monkey or not. There will be no judgment against you unless you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm a tipsy
But-
monkey because
But
I do like this.
people
shot.
watching, the word tipsy means that you could tip the fuck over, right? The word tipsy means that you can no longer keep your balance and equilibrium in order,
I
right?
can do the
So tipsy means that you're not just a little drunk. That's the debate. Can we chime in, please, for our viewers? Does tipsy mean a touch of drunk or a bit of drunk? Because what I'm thinking is that tipsy is not just a little.
little.
You can be just a little
But
tipsy, which
some-
means that you're just a little shy of being able to be tipped over, is the way that I'm seeing it. And Wiz, you can really just not have an opinion on this one because you don't fucking drink. You don't know. You might know from the past, but you don't know now. So you don't have an opinion on this one when we ask a question about what? Smoky means that'd be different than tipsy. To be tipsy is buzzed.
Lunchbox is
It's
popular.
more than buzz, but less than stunk drunk. Yeah, I agree with Brad. Equals a little drunk, more than medium drunk. More like medium drunk.
I wanna
Tipsy
ask-
is you gonna fall the fuck over. That's what I say. Thank you, Ryan. A little buzz, tipsy, not drunk. You
Tipsy.
tipsy wobbling.
Eh,
Cube Surfer, yes. How are you doing? Scarlet Spider. Yeah, so that's tipsy means you're about to fall over, right?
After tipsy, can we drink more? Or
Sorry.
should it stop?
Lauren, there's no right or wrong. You're supposed to give your goddamn opinion. Your opinion is not as to who is right or wrong. Your opinion is to what tipsy means. Not slightly Google it.
After tipsy,
Mary,
can we
I'm not
drink?
trusting Google. I'm trusting you. I'm trusting our group. I'm asking you. I'm not asking for statistics. I'm not asking for God's definition of tipsy. I'm saying, what is yours? What do you think tipsy means to you? And I'm just saying, by the virtue of the word, which the first 3 letters is tip, which means to push or fall over or to be uneven at the top. That's what tip, and then C. C is see the shit tip. C, tip, C. I see the tip. I see the tip happening. I see the fall is inevitable. That is what tipsy means to me.
Tipsy.
See, you just about ready to tip into the
somebody,
teetering line. Not really.
But Buzz, the tipsy.
I'm leaning into
fucked
it.
up. So
So,
after tipsy,
the
can drink a
highlight
little bit
program.
more.
Oh, cool, Scarlet Spider. Yes.
Eh?
Yes, we yeah, cool. Yeah. They're just friends of ours. That's all.
Hi.
They're identifying themselves because the YouTube handles can be crazy.
Okay, but I learned new word, tipsy. But after tipsy, can drink a little bit more. But after fucked up, cannot drink anymore.
Fucked up is a relative
Because
term.
somebody explained like buzzy, tipsy, and fucked up. Right? So you are tipsy. So drink a little bit more.
I'm not tipsy right now.
Eh?
I'm not tipsy right now.
Buzzy.
Yeah, I got buzz. For sure. I'm
Okay.
buzzed.
Buzzy. So you can be.
Hey, I'm gonna throw
tipsy.
the thing up. So like,
Hi.
I'm gonna throw the number. All right, don't call yet. We are gonna take call-ins, but that'll be when we're gonna do the fun part before we get into the things about pissing people off. So remember this. This was on last week's episode, and there was only 2 of them, and we haven't sold them, and I don't know why. Honestly, I don't fucking get it. But what I'm gonna do is open up the other camera so we can go through this again right quick, because of Obi-Wan. Because the Obi-Wan show is gonna start off. Look, I'm gonna show you everything that's wrong with it. Look, there's a little. It's not even a scuff. It's an extra paint. This is a bonus, but it's some extra coating that got here for no purpose. But it don't hurt nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But this is $7.50. There's a little slight scuff here. But anyway, these were 15. So $7.50 if you want a Cash App, which the Cash App went away. Man, you such a dumbass. So there goes the Cash App. If you want a Cash App, orange. It's a lightsaber, by the way, for anybody that's stupid. It's a lightsaber. Or it could be a curling iron. But really it's a lightsaber. And it is a glass pipe lightsaber. These are little feet. They're not eyes or boobs. Those are feet. See? Oh, wait. Because that's not stable. God damn it. Just stop. See? Little feet. So it stands. Pretty cool. So you can Cash App right now to that Cash App. There's only one of each. If you don't get neither one of them, then you'll get your money back because it's first come, first serve. Only one of each. You can type yellow or orange just so we know which one you got. but $7.50 so that you can watch Obi-Wan or any Star Wars program for that matter, or any science fiction, anything that comes on TV, anything that you see in real life at any point that you are breathing in life. This pipe will come in very handy, especially for $7.50.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's completely insane.
And I feel like very deep.
It's average. I wouldn't say that it's deep. I would
mean,
say
like
for one or two people, this is a nice little piece. It's a nice piece, especially for $7.50. And if you like Star Wars, what am I doing? God damn, man, you need fucking smart pills. So, yeah, they're cool. And then when one comes over, you can say, "Hey, man, look at I got this lightsaber piece," and your friend might be like, "Oh man, that's so cool." He might be like, "Oh, it looks like a curling iron." But I digress. I'm gonna show you a couple things. We gotta at least do a giveaway. And I want to get to the gritty. I'm assuming you're waiting. A lot of you have tuned in for the topic of tonight, and we will get to that as soon as possible. Honestly, I want to get through the show, through the content right now, so we can just get to the subject, especially for anyone who tuned in for the subject. And I would like to take call-ins. I really want some different opinions and some conflicting. I don't want people to agree with me. I'm hoping that we'll get to that in a minute. So Daniel, here's looking at you and the opinion of your wife.
It's a big topic.
I don't know if you can speak for her or if she is still awake, but that is someone that I would like to speak to, and someone of that opinion. So, which is a non-gun person, because I'm a gun person. So, all right. On the show right away, actually, man, what? Okay, we're just gonna rearrange the show right here on the spot, like it's a fucking script or anybody gives a shit. I'm gonna show you this thing. Hey Cornell, remember that time you came in and looked at this particular knife? Now I got one. Now this is mine. This crazy King Shark Mad Max looking shit is actually mine, because I was so impressed with this Damascus steel blade. This is one of the most impressive, coolest knives I had seen. I thought it would be really cool for a shoot, and it would be really cool for survival purposes.
Metal? Like
It is full tang. So it's a nice, and this is mine, but we do have them for sale. We have the same almost exact knife. My handle is a little different. Of course, no two are exactly alike. I like the fact that I got this little pattern on mine. But yeah, so available at the store, and that's mine personal.
Hi.
Also, for self-defense, especially with ladies, and you're like, oh man, that's a horrible glare. Let's take this out. So this is the Myers Stick Tactical Keychain. So let's see what's up with this. Honestly, one of the main reasons I got this shit was because it was so Evil Dead. If you're into Sam Raimi and some Evil Dead and those movies and stuff, this just reminds me of that, or something like that, where you need some sort of a sacrificial tool to defeat a demon or an ancient monster or some crazy shit. So this is like a snake with a skull, and it's made of some, maybe it's on the back of some kind of polycarbonate plastic design. The birds of praises are taught by the art of blades of cuts, guns of Rambo fame. Okay, so the guy that made this worked with the guy that made the Rambo knife. Okay, so it doesn't have a particular name for the type of material that it's made out of. So anyway, it's for self-defense. It's an ergonomic. It goes on your keychain. It says that you're into Necronomicon shit without saying you're into Necronomicon or goth shit. And it's a very, very dense, hard plastic. Right hand, left hand, small hand, big hand. It's just meant to be a comfortable grip and to be a secure, self-defense device as needed, because this is much sharper. Well, maybe not sharper. It's more maybe not more pointy. This is a lot more solid and destructive than your fingernail, and a lot tougher than your finger.
So just
So,
do this.
Yeah, you could just like poke the shit out of somebody, So hey, get off of me.
I have this
Get back.
one.
Meow meow.
Meow meow.
So there's that, and then, but what's in this box? Let's see.
This is very cool.
Look at this.
Dee-dee-dee.
Pion. This is cool. And this, I made a post about this, and I thought it was a pretty cool thing, because we always have like knives and stuff. So it's got this bracelet. Well, I'm always posting knives and stuff, and this was something different. So you got this handle here, and then you got this little Velcro strap there to
Only
make it
one
tight.
hand or two hands?
So, well, like I'm not holding on to it, and I don't have to worry about dropping it. So, but you hold the handle, and you got a good grip, and then there's that thing. So pretty cool. It just came in.
Hand
And,
and hand. This one has.
So you can roast up to 3 marshmallows at one time.
Yeah.
So, and if you
That's so cool. But if this one include this one like 7. Here has a.
yeah, those are just not really gonna do a lot of good in the circumstance.
Marshmallow. Just a design.
So we're almost at 10:30, and I am going to proceed to the second part of the show so that we can get along with the content. You had your chance to buy your lightsabers. I'm gonna give you one more chance to buy something about Star Wars, and then we're gonna move on to the other subject matter. $12. You can Cashapp New Hope Star Wars, $12. This is a $25 book which collects 1 through 6. That's what I thought. This is a collection of 1997 Star Wars adaptations from the film of 1997. It's the comic book series that came out following the film. That was like, hey, this crazy new movie is in the theater right now. So yeah, it is a book, a hardback, very nice book that collects 1 through 6 of the original comic book edition to follow the film in 1997, and you can cash out $12 to Star Wars or New Hope as the comment if you would like to have that. So, on to our next segment. I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave the number up so I don't have to forget to do it later. Gun control. So, if we're gonna talk about gun control.
How to talk? And this phone number for what? Cashapp. For Cashapp.
The Cashapp and then the phone number is to call in. So I'm gonna do a second cheers. Is everyone ready? And I really want to get. Hey Daniel, are you still watching? Is someone still up? Is Liz watching? Is Liz in bed? Does anyone watching right now, are you for guns or against guns? And if you are against guns, I really might want to talk to you in a minute. I don't want to be offensive.
Just each
wanna-
person have an opinion, right?
I want to get into.
accept
Yeah, I want to get into some serious things and some serious explanations. I want to get into a serious dialogue, but it's very, very difficult to do that alone. It's very hard to conversate with you guys, and it's hard to hone in on a particular subject when you're just staring at a black glass eye and there's no one there to rebuke or to engage you or to further the conversation. So it's hard. Scarlet Spider, 4 guns. Liz is in bed. I figured she would be. For appropriate use of guns, not free for all guns. Pro firearms, for guns but regulated, depends on the situation. That's a huge gray area. For or against. Doesn't need to own a gun, but they should be responsible. So it looks like most everyone is on the same page. And when I made my post, that was I didn't want to say my idea, but overhaul the mental health and better practice cracking down on illegal ownership. Pro firearms, I believe concealed carry should be outlawed, but open carry completely legal. That's cool. Concealed carry, open carry. We can kind of debate on that being the same, but I do believe that people should be able to have weapons in public. That's a loaded question, pun intended, but pro-gun, also pro-reform, yes. And it looks like, and this is my hey DJ, this is my point, and was like the point of my post, and I honestly wish that that someone that opposed was watching, and I wouldn't want anyone to be fearful or to say, hey, I'm outnumbered, or clearly this person is on the opposing side, so they're going to trash me or bash me or whatever. And that's not the case, especially with here. And I would like to start this entire dialogue with the fact that that's a big part of the problem, is that we don't talk. Is that I don't want to say being conditioned, and I don't want to carry the conversation too far off the path. But I just want to say, starting off, that let's just sum it up without getting into sidetracks. That let's just say we don't talk. What people do is want to argue, and I'm just off the basis of social media and the people that I see that are professionally responsible for engaging in dialogue, want to get mad, get upset, and shut down and walk away, as opposed to having a dialogue. And that's something that is missed from my generation. So I have no idea what we have to work with going forward. But what we need to have solutions. To have solutions, you have to talk. To talk, you have to disagree. You can't have you can't just get along and talk about the things that you're in favor of all the time. And this is what I mean as a society. You click together, you talk to your friends, you have common interests. But outside of that, when it comes to the common good of man and the overall scope of things, people want to, politics and things of this nature. Wearing masks is a good one. Guns is obviously why we're here. It's a good one. So when people have very diehard views on things, there's just no way and that's not good. We have to find a middle. You have to be able to talk. We can be friends. We don't have to agree. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree. What it boils down to is that you don't have to agree, but you need to fucking understand. And that's what it really goes to, whether it's racism, whether it's guns, education, politics, you need to fucking understand. And that's the problem. That's the problem. People don't understand. You don't have to agree. You don't have to say that I'm right, and I don't have to say that you're right. I can say that you're wrong, and you can say that I'm wrong or right or whatever, but it doesn't matter. We just have to agree to understand. I see your side. I understand your point of view. You don't have to agree with it. We have a different life circumstance. We have a different life experience. We're from different countries, different ages, different races, different upbringings, different financial and economic circumstances, lifelong or newly inherited. You don't have to agree. You have to understand. You don't have to be a black person, but you need to understand where they are coming from. You don't have to be an addict, but you have to be able to understand where they're coming from, which is completely another subject, which I'm not even trying to touch on addicts and drug use and things of that nature. That boils down to, let's get into a conversation of accountability and responsibility for choices and blah, blah, blah. But when it comes down to things that are beyond your control, it is an understanding, not an agreement.
Yeah, my opinion.
Yes.
I think everybody can have a choice. If you don't want to have a gun, it's okay. But if you don't want to have a gun, can have. Like you can choose, but at least they need to allow have or not their choice.
Now, on a secondary debate, we're talking about firearms or like automatic, fully automatic, assault type, military grade, tactical type weapons. So I don't want to debate on, like, this is me personal, and we all seem to be on the same page. So we're not talking about guns and not guns, and we'll get to that in a minute. And I would welcome the opposing conversation. When it comes to automatic weapons and military grade and all of this kind of stuff, I am up for a different debate. Like, why do you need that? If you feel that your home is going to be invaded or your homestead is could be in danger, at risk. Now, when it comes to preppers and being ready for World War III and the zombie apocalypse and things like that, I guess it is your right. If you have a right to bear arms and you have a right to own weapons, which I believe that every human being on earth has a right to do, it's not a right to bear weapons and bear arms and things like that. It's a right to defend yourself. So I do believe that every single human being on earth has every right to defend their own life and their homestead and their family with every means possible. If you have an automatic weapon, if you have a BB gun, if you have a nuclear missile, you have the right to defend your family, your personal space.
Yeah.
But do you need to take out an entire army? Do you need to shoot 30 and 50 people? Do you need to wipe? So if you have a right to bear arms, where do we draw the line on, what is necessary and what's overkill and who deems that? Like that's more of an opinion thing. I think the fact of the matter is that every human being on earth deserves an equal chance of defending themselves. So the strength and the firepower and how many bullets it shoots per a minute and all of this stuff, I don't know. I don't want to get into that debate. I just want to focus on the fact of being able to have weapons or not, or what is the answer, what is a possible solution to this. I do 100% believe, as most of the comments I saw said, with more control and this kind of and stuff. What I can say is that it is, in most states, pretty easy to obtain a weapon. It's easy to buy a gun if you are not a criminal. If you have a record of any kind, you can have the slightest bit of bullshit on it, because I have a fucking record is how I know. So you could have done something inconsequential 20 years ago, speaking from experience, that has nothing to do with owning a gun, but they won't let you own a gun. So Hitomi can get a gun. Hitomi can probably, well, she can. Hitomi can go somewhere and buy a gun right now, but I can't. But I'm the one that's been here. I'm the one that's been paying the taxes. I'm the one with the business. I'm the one with the rights to the fucking dirt I stand on. But Hitomi can buy a gun. So I get that. It's maybe too easy to purchase a gun. And I do believe that some of the rules on purchasing a gun are too strict, because in California, if you have a card, if you have a medical card for marijuana, you are forbidden from owning a firearm. Did you know that? So there again is the government playing with some fucking rules in between some shit to just like pick one of the fucking other. So I have a right to defend myself. I have a right to consume a plant matter that comes out of the fucking dirt, that is non-manufactured and does not send, I can be a drunk, I can do cocaine, I can do every other fucking drug in the world and own a gun, but God forbid I have a medical marijuana card that forbids me from owning a firearm. So if I smoke weed to protect my sanity, I do not have other means to protect my family. That, to me, is fucked up. And how does one go into the other? So, like, let's say, with the people that don't want guns or don't like guns and stuff like that, it's too easy to get a gun. Not if you're a criminal. Not if you're a criminal. If you're a criminal, if you have been a criminal, if you've ever done any fucking thing in your life or smoked weed in a legal state, at least California, you can't buy a gun. But if you're a drug dealer, if you know the right people, if you're in the right circles, you don't have to be military. You ain't got to know no fucking cops. If you're in the wrong place, the wrong time, in the wrong environments, in the circumstances that would breed criminal activity, then it's very easy. I can get a gun in the next hour. I promise you that. And I am not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. But I know people. And I know people that have access to things. All I'm saying is that I could do it. I'm sure a lot of other people could do it. And criminals could do it 5-10 times faster than I could. Much more efficiently, and for probably a much, much better price, for a better weapon. So the criminal and the criminal intent has access to these things, whereas they do not in the means that you as a suburbanite, not you, but the suburbanites, and I think that a lot of the people that don't want guns or that are so against guns do not function within a normal observed reality of the majority of the population. The people that don't want guns are the people who, in most cases, I believe, have never had a gun in their face, who have never been drawn on by a police officer, if not more than once. The people that don't want guns have never stood in a gas station while it's being robbed and been able to do nothing. The people that don't want guns have not had their door kicked in at 3 a.m. with their children or their spouse tied up, possibly killed, with no recourse of action. And I guarantee you that anyone that was opposed to guns, that did not believe in this kind of thing, that stood in court while someone that killed their child, their spouse, their parents, their family members, their friends, their schoolmates is alive and walking free, is allowed to walk out of that door when you had no recourse of action at the time and place. And that is why I do believe in guns, because police come after. Police don't prevent crimes. They don't solve crimes. Police are fucking cleaners. In some cases, police and the efforts of police and law enforcement do prevent things. I am not by any means disrespecting any of that at all. All I'm saying is when someone has a fucking gun in your face, you're being robbed at work or robbed at home, and you call 911, if you are even able to do that, you got a 20, 30, 45-minute wait before anything happens. And by that time, I am afraid it is too late. Someone is dead or the criminal's gone. And you don't have, there's not much you can go on. So that's all I'm saying. And if only your VCR and your jewelry is gone, but you still have your children, you're fucking lucky. You're fucking lucky. And that's what you don't understand. Because if you don't want guns, if you don't believe in guns, and at 3 a.m., you as a wife wake up next to your husband and go to your children's room because you heard a loud boom and someone is in your children's room with a fucking weapon, whether it's a machete, a fucking butter knife, or a fully automatic weapon, what are you going to do then? What are you going to wish you had at that point in time? Prayers? Scissors? Foul language?
Candy.
Yeah, candy. A kitten. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And when it comes down to your children, to your family, the things that you have worked for, what do you think is fair? What do you think is fair? And I don't believe in guns because I don't believe in violence and stuff. Well, guess who the fuck does? And I also believe that we do not need nuclear weapons. We shouldn't have nuclear weapons. No one should have ever had nuclear weapons. But guess why we do? Because of government. Because an institution that is this big, we are this, the institution is this. But an institution at some point in time says, not only are we allowing this to happen, not only is this okay to take place, but we will spend millions, if not billions of dollars to have something for the sake of security, and we will allow this to go on and transpire and happen and invest into it to destroy millions of lives at any given time because someone else has it. So how this relates is that if Korea, Russia, China, whatever, has nuclear weapons and can destroy the entire earth, we have to have them.
America dropped.
That's
Japan.
right. And America did drop a nuclear weapon on Japan.
Two drop.
So the thing is that it's reality. It's a sad reality, and it's something that you might not want to face, and it's something that you might not be able to surmount a conclusion or answer to or fully resolve. But it is something that you have to face, is that humanity and the dynamic of humanity is not a positive thing. Not only are we destructive and aggressive as a species, there's nothing you can do about that. Blame God. If you want to pray, and I'm not getting into a religious thing, but facts. If you are a religious person and you pray and stuff like that, then you can also blame God, because undeniably we are self-destructive, we are aggressive, primal creatures without, and we're getting into another subject, but without each other, without social construct, and without contact, without conversation and empathy, humans are wild fucking beasts. And that's the way we are made. That's the way we are programmed. And that's why a lot of the system wants to separate us, keep you in cubicles, keep you on your phone. Structures of organization, governments, things like that, and never want us to talk. They never want us to talk. They never want us to get together. Catholics burned books at the beginning because they didn't want you to be able to read. People don't, the powers that be never want you to be smart, intelligent. They never want you to figure out stuff. They never want you to talk. They want you to argue over politics. And if you think I'm on any kind of like bullshit or I don't know what I'm talking about or maybe I'm too tipsy, Google the fuck out of anything that I'm saying because I'm very much paraphrasing. But even the Colosseum, the Olympics, the games in Greece were invented. The whole purpose of fucking sports was invented to distract you from politics. That was the entire invention of the Olympics and games and athletes in the first fucking place in the Coliseum was to distract the common folk, to distract the public from politics, which was just being developed at the time. It's always been about distraction. It's always been about distraction and to keep people from collectively talking. Because again, the system is this, we are this. And it's like animals and not having a sense of self-awareness. And a Chihuahua doesn't know that it's this big. The Rottweiler doesn't know that it's this big. That's why the Chihuahua can sometimes bark the Rottweiler down if it has the... So this is the system, this is the entity, and they want to keep you at the Chihuahua thing because we do have a self-awareness and we do have, so we see this huge entity, but really it's this. And we are this, but we won't do anything about it because they force us to see it this way. So I digress. God damn it, this is why the fuck I didn't want to get off on my thing. So to keep us from conversing, they don't want us to dialogue. They don't want us to have conversations amongst ourselves.
South Carolina is your way, right?
South Carolina. Well, it's
you
not
don't have to angry about that one because
well, it doesn't matter, politics or whatever. So back to what I was saying. I think what I was saying, anyone can like comment to get me back on. That's why I didn't want to get too far off. But it's riddle me this: what type of gun is used in shooters versus handguns or assault weapons? So there's some dialogue going in the. Maybe I can just subdivert onto this thing, onto the thread here. Let's see what's some comments that we've got. So all I was saying earlier, though, to get back to the point that I remember making in the before, was that you have to have a way to defend yourself. So we shouldn't have to have these things. Oh yeah, it's the dynamic of humanity and us being fucked up. So, and God made us that way. So humans are inherently fucked up, and we do not need to be separated from each other. We are a collective species and should be interacting with each other. So all of that closed. So unfortunately, we have to have these measures in place, which your household and your community is the same, to where if Russia, China, Korea, if someone else has nuclear weapons, you have to have nuclear weapons. If the criminal element, if who you believe is to be terrible and a bad person or whatever against you, or to have ill will against humanity and freedom and things of this nature, then if they pose a significant threat, then you have to be able to meet that threat with in equal power. Sorry that it took me so long to say that. So within a country, within a country's understanding of that principle, the nuclear weapons and stuff, it should have never been invented. It should have never happened. But an institution that we are all enslaved to, no matter what country you're from, no matter where you are on earth, you are enslaved. If you're from a civilized nation, that is. You are essentially enslaved to an entity that said, yes, we will pour millions of dollars into creating a weapon that is capable of destroying large parts of the planet, and other civilized nations' economic superpower says, because you have that, we will not allow you to take what we have, and so we will have an equal weapon. Not every country has these weapons. So same thing with houses. Not everyone can afford the same gun. Not everyone can afford the same level of security. And some of those countries, some of those places don't see a need, or literally don't have a need for those things. If you live in a jungle or somewhere where crime is non-existent, which is not very realistic, but still,
I don't want to have a gun.
in an element where there's a lot of humans in one place, you are gonna have a criminal element. There's nothing you can do about that, especially in a civilized nation where material means and things and money are of a priority, and material things and stuff. So let's see. I'm gonna try to go back to some of this. We need to stop equating mental health with gun violence. Mental health does not always mean violent or offender, but screenings periods need to be in place. Yes. Real conversation. Ban all assault rifles. Military and law enforcement are the only ones who need them. Pro guns, by the way. Hison, but Brown, yes, Brown human. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. It's debatable though. Henson, you're crazy. If I want to buy an AR, right. So I agree with both of those things. You should be allowed to buy it. You don't need a car that goes 120 miles an hour either. There's no need for that. You don't. What is the purpose for you to have a car that goes 120 miles an hour? Why do you need to buy a plane? Why do you have to have your own fucking plane? That's stupid. That's dumb. You don't need a fucking plane. But it's not for me to say that you shouldn't have that. It's not for me to say that you shouldn't have it. If guns are legal and you're okay to have a gun, then you should be able to buy whatever you want. But I will get on a little bit more of that. I don't like the fact that it's so easy for the wrong people to acquire them. Cornell, for guns, I just don't like that it's so easy for the wrong. Well, back to what I was saying earlier, I don't feel that the wrong people can't buy guns. If you've been in jail and you've done things, if you're a fucked up person and no one knows about it, then I'm sorry, not sorry that it's too easy to get a gun. But if you have committed crimes and you have done things in the past, you go to buy a gun on your own, you're gonna have a hard time. So it's so easy. The wrong people, back to what I was saying again earlier too, the wrong people acquire guns the wrong way. So that doesn't change anything. If someone has a desire and a will to execute criminal behavior, they will find a gun. They will make. Have you ever met a crackhead before? Let alone someone that smokes too much material. But if you ever met someone that's hard up on drugs, I would not be surprised if it was a fucking addict that invented a nuclear bomb. I don't think it was. I'm just saying. That's some creative motherfuckers. So if you didn't have a gun and you're hard up enough, you will make a fucking gun. And it can be imaginary, but you will come up with a fucking weapon if you're the wrong person. So let's see, what you're describing is called, okay, I saw that. See, exactly, we need to talk about it because I see, yeah, people don't want to talk. And even like today, I made a post and I made another post. Now I post some personal drama. I post some other kind of complete bullshit that has nothing to do with helping anyone. And social media is all the fuck over. All kind of goddamn comments, shares, all kind of shit on some dumb shit. But I did not get the engagement that I expected to get on this post. And it just goes to show you something. People ain't really ready to talk. They just want to act like they are. If someone wants to purchase any type of gun, they should be required to undergo full, better background checks, psych eval, blah, blah, blah. Again, if you are a fucked up person, you are not going to have an easy time buying a gun because I want to and because I like to shoot them. They're the great reasons to have. And Brown, I mean, someone might want to order a dozen chicken wings. Someone might want to order 2 dozen. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. Why do you need that? But by the same token, Why do you have to jump out of planes? Why do you need a car that goes that fast? Why do you need to spend $4,000 on a fishing rod? If guns and you're an enthusiast and this is your hobby and this is what you're into and you legally, because I assume that I assume that everyone knows. I assume that everyone watching or people in general know that when you buy a gun and you have concealed carry or you have a concealed permit or you have a carry permit, you do got to take tests. You have to know what you're doing. You are trained a little bit for the concealed and that kind of thing. So you can't just buy it all willy-nilly, and maybe you can. But we'll get back to that right after these comments. See, we need more education around guns. Too many people not under. Okay, yes, it may be people can in place where people can shoot them but not own them. That's not a horrible idea where you can go to a place where there is guns of any kind and you can just kind of like rent them and play with them and stuff if you're in it. But you should have the right to own your own as well. I don't know. That's such a slippery thing because you buy a 12-pack of beer. But what if someone buys 4 kegs? They don't need all of that. But it's your fucking business. If they want to have 4 kegs of beer at their home and they're not out in public drinking it, it's not in their car, they have 4 kegs at home at their house, it's kind of not for you to say how much beer someone drinks. And like, if they're really into beer, that's, did I say however, it's harder to buy a handgun than an assault weapon. I did not know it's harder to buy a handgun than an assault weapon. Maybe I should try to buy an assault weapon. Let's see. I need some land out in the woods, designated zones, to make sure no one accidentally shoots the next guy over. But yeah, you should always exercise. Gun control does not equal ban. Yes. Actually, DJ, hey, I'm glad you're watching because I considered hitting you up earlier just to have you like review statistics during the show. No offenses should equal no, not all offenses should, right, I agree with that too. Not all offenses should equal no gun ownership. Also, you should be able to smoke weed and have a gun. That's insane. You buy alcohol a day and make it, but you buy alcohol all day and buy guns there, make it make sense. But you buy alcohol all day and buy guns there. I'm not sure I get that one. I'm getting it out of context. That's insane. It doesn't make sense. Catch 22. Does somebody tripping on mushrooms need to be able to be in possession of just a point because someone ingests something naturally grows from the earth? Y'all, welcome to America. Bye. There's enough guns in this country to give everyone at least one. With those numbers, crazy criminals will get their hands on purchase. Especially in Colombia, locks and laws are for the honest. They keep order but chooses to do a crime. Right. Okay, so just to divert just a minute. When we were hanging out with a friend earlier, it told me, said, well, what about a sign on the door or a sign outside posted that says, no guns, no guns inside? Well, that doesn't fucking mean anything for someone who has criminal intent. If you're gonna rob a place or you're gonna do something bad with a gun, doesn't matter what a fucking sign says, because 99% of that, you have obtained the gun illegally in the first place with a criminal intent that has not been legally you don't give a fuck about the law if you're robbing or gonna shoot someone anyway. But if a customer is in my store with a carry permit and they are armed and they have a weapon on them, instead of the police, I am going to be thankful that that customer with that weapon on their person is in the store at that time because they have my best interest. If I do not have a weapon and you are registered to carry a weapon in public, that means you have been trained. That means that you are, that you are recognized as able to use that weapon effectively and efficiently and safely. And when someone comes in my store, my house, waving a gun in my face, and I am not able to protect myself right now at this very moment, and someone is standing right there that does have a license and permit to carry a weapon, I'm going to be thankful. I'm going to be glad that that person has gone through the correct channels to legally obtain a weapon, and not only legally obtain a weapon, but be allowed to carry it in public and use it effectively against someone with criminal intent. Because the big thing, and this is like a huge one, I really wanted to go in with this right off dick, is that I firmly believe, and we all know this, especially obviously the majority of the people watching this show, is that guns don't kill people. People kill people with or without guns. And guns don't do it. Gun is an inanimate object, is a tool, is a weapon of defense or offense or whatever. But what a gun actually does, and what I wanted to start off with this, the problem with it is we all know knowledge is power, right? We all know that knowledge is power. And one of the reasons for that, one of the big primal reasons for that is with knowledge is power, right? With life experience, with study, tutelage, research and development, knowledge is power. Guns, weapons in general, but guns at the top by far of the fucking list. What guns do is eliminate discipline. And that's the problem. That's a real issue and something on a psychological or foundational level that people just don't think about or don't realize. If you have a knife, a sharp, blunt object or whatever, if you intend to do a crime, if you intend to do harm to someone, you gotta have some fucking guts. First of all, you have emotional and mental damage, but you also have to have some guts. You have to have some stamina. You got to have some mental fortitude, and you have to have a much more aggressive mental point of view to stab someone, to use a knife or a blunt object. You actually have to be pretty fucked up and in some ways skillful to take a human life. But when you have a gun, that eliminates the discipline. Now someone, and this is, I say if someone owns a gun, you are a person of character. If someone uses a gun, you're a fucking coward and a piece of shit, garbage, trash. And what I mean by that, if you own a gun, you have legally gone through the right channels. You have respectfully made a choice and honored that choice and the power of which this tool has. You have taken tests. You have studied. You have, spent a little bit of money, and you have taken this serious. You know how to take this weapon apart, put it back together. You know how it operates. You know how to safely operate it. You know a little bit more about the laws surrounding the use and carry of this weapon, and you are a person of character because you have gone through things the correct way, and you have gone through these things either out of a hobby, a need to secure, but because you have an interest, and because you have gone about things the right way, you have this discipline. And anyone that is going to have a number of weapons, I promise you this too, something else anti-gun people don't think about. Anyone that has a collection of guns knows how to use them shits. Ain't nobody spending thousands and thousands of dollars on fucking things like that they don't know how to use, for the most part. So, If someone collects guns, if someone is a gun enthusiast, then they are disciplined. Not to say that someone can't flip out once in a while, not to say that something can't go wrong. And for those instances, it is what it is. Whether it's bombs, guns, you could drive a fucking mail truck through a crowd. So the weapon is not the problem. The gun is not the problem. The people that are into guns, the people, and I guess we can say this too, we can address this with Brown as well, is that the people that are really into these guns and the people that really want to spend a lot of money on guns, it ain't a joke. They're not trying to rob people. They're into guns and they have a discipline about it. They have an understanding about it. You know why people that know karate don't typically go around kicking people's ass? It's because of martial arts, there's a discipline involved. People don't go around hacking people up and doing shit with knives and swords because they ain't got the fucking skill for it and they ain't got the guts for it. But if they had the discipline, if they had studied martial arts, if they were a samurai and had studied swordplay, if they did any fucking thing with their life with these tools of destruction, be it their hands or whatever, the discipline teaches you the power. When you give someone a gun, or when someone is a criminal with criminal element or criminal intent and they obtain a firearm by any means necessary, they lack the discipline. They did not go through the channels. They did not spend the money. They don't know how to use that fucking gun other than to point it in someone's face and take what does not belong to them because they're fucking cowards. And do you know the only person that can stand up to this low-life piece of shit, someone that knows karate? No! Someone who has a fucking gun. Thank you. Drops the mic. Drops the fucking mic. Because what else is your answer? What else is your answer? Aside from that, I will say that when you buy a gun, especially an automatic or beyond, public firepower within reason type of weapon, but even a basic firearm, no, you should not be able to just buy a gun all willy-nilly. Guns shouldn't be treated any different than cars. Why aren't they? Why not? A car can kill a person. So can a knife. So can a box cutter. But when you buy a car, something that is expensive, that requires a little bit of discipline, sort of, and a lot of money, you have to take a test. You have to prove that you're not even allowed to do it until you're a certain age, which is cool. But you have to prove, you have to take a test, and then you have to function under an official to prove that you are capable of handling this large piece of metal that could effectively kill any number of people. And you have to show that your eyesight is correct. You have to show that you have good judgment and reflexes enough, and that you know how to use this thing and how the laws work around how to use this thing. 100% behind, in which I don't understand. Every time the gun control, every time this issue comes up, they never do anything, right? They never do anything. Every couple of years, same fucking argument, same fucking issue. It ain't the guns. It's not the guns.
Do you recommend that everybody have a gun?
I would say, I would recommend that every single human being of age should have a firearm. I do believe, just like I believe that every human should have, like, you don't have to have a car, right? But I do believe that everyone should have a home. Everyone should have a vehicle or a means of whatever. If they want it, you don't have to. You don't have to have a home either. But I say that every single human being on earth should have a place to sleep, a means of transportation, or some kind of way to get to what they need to do to take care of their homestead and their belongings, And if it's a nice pair of shoes as opposed to BMW, that's fine. It's not my point.
If so, I recommend pitbull.
And you should
It's
have,
better than gun.
you can shoot a pit bull. And now you have 2 dead family members, if not your children, and a missing VCR. So I believe that everyone should have, every human on earth should have a place to sleep, a place to go, a means to support themselves by some kind of way, a way to get to that. And
Pew. Yeah. No. This one.
shit, I just hung up on, god damn it, here, you do it. Oh no, someone's there. Hello? 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 All right, well, they hung up anyway. I wasn't ready to take a call. God damn it. What were we talking about? So the license and stuff. So you have to have a license to drive and operate a vehicle and all this kind of thing. It makes complete sense to me and never has not made sense to me why they haven't done that, especially with all, because they don't give a shit. That's really why, because they don't give a fuck. They'd rather have the shit keep going on, no matter the loss of lives. But I digress. So, when you buy a gun, you should not be able to buy that gun. You should not be able to buy a firearm at all without proper licensing. You can't just go buy the gun. When you buy a gun, I feel, as a complete gun supporter, obviously, watching the show, this is what I would say is that you go into the gun shop, you say, this is my gun, this is the gun that I would select, I would like to buy it. You pay for that gun, and they keep it. Now what happens after you have the receipt for that firearm, is that you go to a class. And if you buy a regular sidearm, you go to a particular class, just like you do for a motorcycle, car, a CDL. And it costs more too. Costs money. It might cost, along with the gun, but you cannot take that gun home. You can go later that day, you can go right then, you can go next week, but you buy the gun and you pay the cost of the schooling that associates with the license for that gun. When you get a CDL, you go to a special school. So when you buy an automatic rifle or you buy a tactical firearm that, is automatic and does lots of cool stuff, you go to a special class for that. And that class costs more. It's more in depth, has more experienced trainers, what have you. But it costs more. The more advanced the thing, the more dangerous it is, the more shit you need to know, the more that license costs. And it ain't got to be double, triple, within reason. So you buy a gun, you have to pay somebody to be able to say that you are effectively able. It's not a choice. You buy the gun, you have to know how to use it. You don't have an option. So when you have that receipt, you have that gun at home, when a police officer comes in your house and something has happened and you have that gun, when you get pulled over and you have that gun on your person, something like that, then a police officer says, you have this license, which is what happens with concealed anyway, but I'm just saying. So we just take it a step further. You cannot own a weapon at all. You can't buy a gun at all without the special restrictive licensing. Now, what else that does is it is dangerous to buy a firearm. It is dangerous to have firearms in the hands of people that don't know how to use them. Because of accidents and accidental discharge and things of that nature. And again, the lack of discipline, the lack of understanding. And when you take these classes, let's do a cheers because some people said cheers. Cheers, cheers, cheers. I'm gonna catch up with some of that. I mean, I feel like if we can if we can, our uterus is a weapon, people would defend it more. Is my greatest concern. We live in a time where no living human being has to go hungry, homeless, without medical care. We have all the resources. Yeah, I don't want to get into all the. See, personal insurance and property tax on guns newer than 2000. Fuck that. I'm not paying property tax to my weapons. That's just dumb. Yeah. Property tax on cars is stupid too. You shouldn't pay property. You shouldn't pay tax on car after you buy it. You shouldn't pay tax on gun after you buy it. Shouldn't fucking matter. You should be responsible for the firearm that you purchase for the life term of it. So if you do sell or get rid of a firearm, you should go through a legal thing about it. And the person that buys the firearm from you should also be required to have that same license. And if you sell someone a firearm without them obtaining that license first, you could get in trouble. Those are the things that I think would be much more sensible. I'm not even going to say effective, because people are going to do what they're going to do anyway. But I do feel that makes more sense. That does make more sense. It's more fair. And if the government and entities want to have some money made out of this, and people pay for the right to protect themselves, man, fuck taxes. We've had enough fucking taxes. Get your money from the goddamn license. And you can say, let's say it's $200, $150 to get your license for the firearm, $25 each additional firearm, or $50, so half the price. After a certain amount of firearms, it's a reduced fee after that, reduced fee for families, whatever. But you get your money from that. Raise the taxes on bullets, whatever the fuck you got to do, but don't just put it off on some bullshit. Don't put it off on some bullshit. Because you don't do it in other places, and I feel like if we treated guns like vehicles, no reason not to. No reason not to. You have certain levels of vehicles and what they're capable of, and you rate the insurance on that. So you rate the taxes, or not the taxes, the cost of the licenses on those things. Also, if you have a firearm, should it be taken away from you at some time if you're a senior, or this kind of thing? Should you have to go back regularly, just like a license, same license? Should you have to go back every couple years? Should you have to have eye tests? Should you have to go back and show that you are still capable of even lifting this weapon at some point in time? Just something else to consider, because I'm bringing up what's fair, and I'm bringing up, licensing and making sure people are accountable. So that's another thing. Should you be able to continue to prove that you can safely and effectively continue to handle the firearm? And should there be a separate license for collection and use? How about that? What if I can buy this weapon and I can privately use it, and I can use it on my property, and I can shoot it and have fun, but I can't take it off my property? And that'll be a whole, separate charge. Like, that'll be a whole separate amount of trouble. That I can have said weapons, pay an additional fee to be able to have that license. It's a little cheaper to have a license that says you can have some of these things, explosives, whatnot, only on your property or within a certain radius of your domicile. And maybe you even have to prove where you live. Because if you live in an apartment, if you live in a housing project, or somewhere where there's too many people in close proximity, that might be fair. Because even accidental discharge, we could say that. Because we could just say that someone who unsafely uses the gun could kill someone in the next room. That's a fair argument. So I do believe in some regulations. I do believe in some things making sense. Do homes get broken into more than apartments? I would think so. Like, that's gotta make sense, right? Because where there's a large number of people collected together, the safety measures do change. So that's a fact of a matter. You're living in the same building or the same construct with a bunch of other people, whereas even the building catches on fire and you have too many munitions in your storage closet on the balcony, and it takes out the whole fucking building across the street that's not on fire. Those are the things that you also have to consider, which I do and I have. So that's my solution as I would like to suggest it, is that humans and humanity and the dynamic thereof is fucked up. There's nothing you can do about the criminal element. There's nothing you can do about people being fucked up. It's not, if we didn't have guns, it would be swords. If it wasn't swords, it'd be catapults, slingshots. People are going to do what they're going to do. But people that do things like that are pussies and cowards. And so the gun makes it easy. But that's not the gun's fault. The gun is a tool and a way for people that have no other means, people that are too weak to express themselves, people that are too fragile, that are too broken to work, whether it's mentally, whatever. And someone earlier said, let's not equate the mental. Yeah, because it doesn't matter. One of my favorite things to bring up that really fucking pisses me off is once upon a time someone's house was broken into and someone's teenage son was shot and killed for breaking into someone's house. This happened to be an African American victim, and I'm not even going to bring up the race of the people who got broken into, and it's not relevant. The race isn't relevant other than to say the young man that was shot and killed was African American and his parents were African American, and that part of the argument, and it's the only reason I'm saying it is because they said it, was that they were from a low-income environment and did not have proper means of survival, and that this young person had not learned a correct way, had not learned a correct, responsible way because of the environment that they were in. And if they were not in this environment because of being African American and in the projects and stuff, that they would have not broken into this suburbanite home and been shot and killed. Now, my thing is it doesn't fucking matter, because it doesn't matter your economic status. It doesn't matter what you have. It does not matter your race, age, gender, religious, political affiliation. There is no animals. We cats, dogs, rats, insects. Every fucking carbon-based life form on this planet has the sense to know not to invade another carbon-based life form's space knowingly without invite. I think that's irrefutable. I think that every single animal on Earth, if you invade a certain amount of space, every square inch of this fucking planet, if you step too close to something, it's gonna run away or kill you. I think that is ingrained in our very DNA. No shit. It's not a question of right and wrong. It's not a question of economic circumstance. Well, it is a question of right and wrong, but not knowing the difference. If it is 3 a.m. and you forcefully enter someone's home without screaming, I need help, I've been in an accident, please help me, I consider that as an open invite to meet Jesus as soon as possible. That's all I'm saying. If I am asleep or watching a movie and it is well after hours, or during the day for that matter, but during the day there might be some other kind of reasonable cause. But if I hear a loud noise in my house being forcefully entered, if it is a policeman, if it is a human being, if it is a bear, you're getting fucked up. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm either going to be naked and covered in soap. I don't know what I might be doing, but I'm going to run to my room or some place that I believe at that moment might be safe and lock the door, cower, hide under something, or I'm grabbing the closest, sharpest, most dense, heaviest, pointiest, or explosive object within reach and stopping you. Because if you come no further, I would like to make sure you will not leave. And I don't care what or who you are. So I don't see how that's an argument. I don't see how, and that, so guns. Well, if there wasn't any guns, the guy wouldn't have been shot. If you come in my house and I have a PlayStation, are you going to charge me separately for killing this person with a PlayStation than with a gun? Because that's what's going to happen. And if this person runs out of the house and I have time to start the car and catch him, what's the charge going to be then? So I don't know. But guns are not the problem. I can promise you that. I do want to go before we get out of here. I would like to. There haven't been any. You can educate all you want if you keep being so easy to get. You're getting well-educated psychos, weapons, war, decided, persevere, carry. You can educate all you want if you keep it so easy to get. Right. Yeah, well, it shouldn't be so easy to get. That's for sure. It should not be so easy to get. And if you have to go through these things, and you know you have to go through these things, and you have to face people and take tests and do things, you're not, an evil person is an evil person. So if you believe in 9/11 or a conspiracy or not, there were some people that did fly some planes into a building. All I'm saying is you don't need a gun. It makes it easy. It does make it easy. But on another side of things we really didn't touch was, what about Monkey said earlier? With all the things that have gone on with all the schools and stuff like that, and I just know that if I went across the street to Spring Valley, I doubt I would make it to the administrator's office with absolutely nothing on my person before someone would say something. So if we're gating schools, if schools are gated, if schools are on private property, which in most cases I figure schools like are mostly kind of sort of considered private property. If you don't have any reason on a school campus, and most campuses I figure now have resource officers and stuff like that, security ain't nothing but a thing. So I can't, I have more issue with, like Monkey said, someone getting so far onto a property. So weapons or not, because if you ban weapons or you ban guns, that's still gonna happen. I mean, you do realize that, right? Gun people that don't like guns, you know that still happens. That they're not gonna go away. There's something called the war on drugs. Have you ever heard of crack? You ever heard of heroin? Have you ever known anyone that was on heroin? You ever heard of it? You ever known anybody or you ever heard of anyone that smoked crack before, ever in your life? How many people have you ever heard of, and I'm speaking to the no gun people, sorry if you ain't watching, sorry, but how many people have you ever heard of that ever smoked crack? And how many people have you ever heard of that had issues with guns? All I'm saying is you make something illegal, don't fucking matter. Don't fucking matter. It's still gonna happen. And the criminal element is still gonna exist, but it will fester. It will fester under the point of knowing that you don't have a gun and that most people don't. And there are parts of the U.S. and parts of the world, most certainly, that are lawless. There are some that are completely lawful as well. And you know what? I fucking know. I've never been to any of these places that I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I know that there are places that do exist on Earth in other countries and places and some small towns that people don't walk around on their cell phone. People don't treat other people like shit. People still treat other people with respect. People care about what they do and their actions in public and what they do to other people and how their actions affect other people and how their actions might be reflected upon their children and their family and their parents. We don't have that. We lost that. Y'all killed that shit in the 80s. So, not y'all, I mean, not any of us. But a long time ago, when you said that everyone deserved a trophy, way back, not that long ago, when you said that there were no winners and everyone was equal, that is when that shit happened. Huh? Yeah.
Competition.
It's not true. It's not true. And I was googling to this better tech to destruct weapons. No one wants to buy money for that. So just because I don't agree with you, I'm lost. Ryan, really mature. Why, you can legally carry a weapon in your vehicle on school property in SC. I have a bow and arrow too, but it's more for novelty. Security-wise, you would have to limit access to 1 or 2 points in the building. Security is just another underpaid job. The world is all going like downhill. Nobody wants to do their job and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, let's make sure we keep it friendly and positive, man. Like I said, we don't have to, like with Brown here. Hey man, I'm totally cool with Brown. We sit down and ain't no frowns with Brown. Like and let's see, Ryan OC. Ryan OC, I really appreciate you. You was new to the show at the beginning. I'm not gonna take sides here. This is not what I'm here for. We're here for a dialect and to be cool. Ryan OC, all I'm gonna say is I appreciate you watching. I have nothing bad to say against you. I'm trying to look to see. Actually, so no permits required. There are lawmakers don't pass stricter guns with universal background checks. So controversial. Yeah, I think that this is what happens when you text to see guns are guns, whether a pistol or a long rifle. Ryan, yes, I agree. And see, Ryan saying lost is what prompted my comment. Thanks, Mary. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what's going on, but that's what happens with text and stuff like that. And neither one of y'all probably really mean what you I know you mean what you say, but you're not able to speak in complete fluid sentences and stuff, and you're not here with the microphone. And so, I probably agree with both of y'all. I'm pretty sure I agree with both of you, and that's the thing. Everyone
can have an opinion.
Right.
Everybody has a different opinion. That's okay.
And I didn't see where something was about lost. But someone doesn't have to be lost. They don't understand. And Brown, I'm not saying you don't understand. We good. I'm not saying that Brown doesn't understand, and maybe Brown doesn't. But all I'm saying is that without further dialogue and sitting down and having an agreement, I see what you're saying and I see what you're saying, without little bits back and forth. But Lost, you don't want to call names and stuff, and so Lost is kind of like that. You don't want to say somebody's lost because like that, you're not lost. You just ain't been found yet. So like, it's okay, but not lost. It's just a difference of opinion. It's just different. It's just different. Doesn't mean that you're lost, or doesn't mean that you're stupid or nothing. It's just different. It's just different. But you got to be able to agree to disagree.
Different.
Okay, and see, and Ryan says I tend to be an antagonizer, and to me, that sounds like Ryan OC saying, "Hey man, it's cool. Like you right. Like I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just, I'm up for a healthy debate with less than big words. So, I think everybody's cool. See, I understand. I don't. Okay, so he says I understand. I don't agree. I don't think I don't I'm not 100%. Okay. Let's take our call in then. Let's take our call in, Brown. Since you're watching and you've been present the whole time, and we got it all going on, and I wanted to involve. So this is what we wanted. It is such a complicated issue. Ryan says you need a shot. You should.
Yeah, of course, we do.
I did want to.
I'm gonna bring shot.
Now, Ryan OC, you keep watching too. We're, everything that we do is just improv. The whole fucking show is always just made up as we go, especially the last 20 weeks or whatever. So we're just gonna see how it goes. I appreciate y'all, but this is kind of what I was hoping for. So Brown, you go ahead and call that number, and I'm gonna keep you here too, Ryan, and we're gonna take Brown's
Who calling?
call. Well, Brown, I'm waiting on Brown to call first.
Okay.
So anyway, on the post, there was one specific thing that I wanted to address, and so my friend's wife, Daniel's probably gone to sleep by now. Daniel, Cornell, either one of y'all still watching? It's been so long ago. So my good friend Daniel, his wife Liz, is someone who I think is like nonviolent and all of this kind of stuff, as far as I know. And so this morning, my friend's wife Liz posted something. I'm saying her name because you can go ahead and answer it. Hey, Brown. Hello? Hey, what's up? So it's what? Oh, Hison. Oh, cool. Hison. Got you. Well, now it's good to know. How you doing? All right, cool. Hey, can you turn the background down a little? Man, that sound horrible. So, okay, so I'm gonna go through this thing right quick, and then I'm gonna get to you. But so my friend's wife, and I'm saying her name. I wouldn't do this under normal circumstance, but we're friends and stuff. So this is part of the thing showing you like it's real or what, whatever. So she posted a chart, and it says in 2017, every justifiable homicide, there was 35 criminal homicides, and it shows a bunch of little red guns and a little blue gun. And so my comment was, well, to me, what it says, as an ignorant American who don't read and just looks at pictures and needs diagrams as shown here, that if there were more blue guns, the red guns would probably run away. So I'm like, the red guns wouldn't be so tough if there was more blue guns. So, and a couple people said that's facts. And then she says, tell me guns aren't used for self-defense nearly as much as gun advocates say they are. Okay, and let me read that again just so people at home can because it's getting late. Tell me guns aren't used for self-defense nearly as much as advocates say they are. Okay. I'm trying to think about how to round that up without going in a big circle. But people that say that you have to have safety belts, people that advocate safety belts, right? So if someone is a drunk driver or decides to be a drunk driver or get behind the wheel and kill themselves in some other places or some other people, okay, so what she says, gun advocates, right? So it's used as self-defense nearly as much as gun advocates say they are. People say that you have to wear a safety belt, which of course only involves, your own life, but still, people, well, you gotta wear a safety belt. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. So a gun is effectively meant to kill people, and I give you that. But people that advocate safety belts and the safety and using your car safely, do we blame or do we point fingers at the people that advocate the safety of cars when someone gets killed by a drunk driver? Now, granted, a gun is a weapon. A gun is a weapon. A gun is made and manufactured to take a life. That is true. So, and a car is not. But all I'm saying is that when someone says gun safety, I advocate guns, and guns need to be used for self-defense, just like a car needs to be used to get to work, when someone kills someone with another car, or when someone kills someone else with a car and they're drunk or in a fit of rage, I'm not going to blame the people that were behind the safety and the correct use of the vehicle. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Because tell me guns aren't used in self-defense as much as gun advocates. So I'm an advocate of guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that we need, just like I'm saying and have said throughout the show, that you need a gun for self-defense, right?
I agree.
So guns aren't used for self-defense nearly as much as gun advocates say they are. Now, what I'm saying is, what I'm seeing into this is because of the chart that she presented, was that there's so many red guns versus the blue gun, right? So these red guns, all of these red guns, it says for every justifiable homicide, there were 35 criminal homicides, right? Well, to me, it would make sense, just like I said, is like an idiot looking at the chart, is that the people that advocate the guns and the people that said that the guns were safe and people that said, gun safety and need to be used in self-defense, those aren't the red guns. So, that's not the red guns. So yes, by your chart, 35 criminal homicides for one justifiable homicide. So that means if there were 100 blue guns, if there were 100 justifiable homicides for every 35 criminal homicides, that means, what's 100 minus 35? I don't know math. But the opposite, whatever the remainder of that is the number of people that got fucked up for going around in the wrong house. That's the number of people that fucked around and found out. You see what I'm saying? So if there were 100 blue guns and 35 red guns, still there, still the same chart. But if there were 135 justifiable homicides in the U.S. with 35 criminal homicides, I would be satisfied. You see what I'm saying? No, because you're saying that, like, okay, like there's a dozen donuts, right? So there's a dozen donuts, and I ate 7 of them, right? So you gonna call me a fat ass? You gonna say I'm a fat waste of lazy space for eating 7 fucking donuts? But what? What if there was 50 donuts? What if there was 50 donuts? And this has nothing to do with guns and crimes. All I'm saying is to do with the charts. So if there was, because the guns are,
Let him talk.
yeah, the people that are doing the things, the red guns, the people that are doing the bad things, aren't the ones that have anything to do with advocacy or laws or following the rules or obtaining legally or any of that. They don't. That's not how the chart really works, because you don't even know. Anyway, so what? Okay, so what started the argument? Because, yeah.
Oh, you want me to say something?
Yeah. So now we're on to you. My bad.
Oh no. What I wanted to clarify is first of all, my name is Hison Brown. Love coming to the store. Probably it's tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, I gotta come out there tomorrow. So anyway, and the thing is, I wasn't offended. I just thought it was funny. I mean, I remember I used to antagonize people when I was probably like 20 years ago when I was a kid on the internet. But anyhow, I am a gun advocate. I just want to make that clear. But I just don't see any reason for civilians to own assault rifles. I just don't see the use for them as far as unless it's for law enforcement or military. I think the weapon is used to kill people. Granted, people love shooting them. And people obviously have a right to buy them, but apparently that is working. That isn't working, and not doing anything. Not doing anything isn't working either. Now, like you said, some people love guns and all that good shit or whatever. I mean, I love video games, right? And since we're using any type of object, now if video games every now and if somebody else's video games every now and then was magically like slaughtering children in mass like every other year or whatever, I'd be willing to give up my video games for children. That's all I'm saying. That may sound crazy, but I just think that everybody has an argument as to why we don't need to do gun reform versus why we need, like, it's like, okay, I know these kids died, but look at all the good that guns do. I mean, well, assault rifles, which I don't see the point.
Well, something I was gonna say earlier about the school shooting too is that while that is very unfortunate, and not to take away from any of the lives lost and all the hearts out to the people involved with that most recent incident, is that's the last one you heard of. Now the media sensationalizes one thing or another, but this school shooting is one of many, of 20 others that you never heard about. And while a school shooting in this kind of circumstance is very unfortunate, so are the many lives lost in inner cities throughout America and the world every day for no reason at all. And guns aren't pointed at those circumstances because they're not sensationalized. So crime happens and it goes on, and it has nothing to do with guns and stuff. But back to your thing about what was it that Ryan said you were lost about though? Because I want to talk to Ryan.
Oh, I was talking about as far as our lawmakers not even willing to do anything as far as any common sense gun reform. I mean, and I do understand some people when I don't know. I get people do. We're going to disagree. We're on other ends of the opposite. But I mean, I'm not offended. But I'm not going to call him a loss because he doesn't agree with me. I mean, that's childish in my opinion. I mean, but I'm not offended. I mean, I've been 20 years in the military. I love weapons. I'm retired military. I love weapons, but I just don't see the point in civilians owning assault rifles. I mean,
But why?
I'm sorry, saying is fun, and because I can, it's that's just not a good enough reason to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, but okay, but why not? But tell me why not though.
Because the wrong people are getting their hands on these weapons, and people are dying in mass.
And I also want to point out, see how me and Brown are talking? We don't agree. I'm not agreeing with Brown right now. But we're talking, and see, we're not calling names. I'm not saying nothing disrespectful to this dude. We could be sitting down having drinks right now. You know, I hug this dude at the end of the show, and I never met him before because this is how things get solved. This is how you come to an understanding, and this is exactly what I wanted from the beginning of the show. Even somebody worse than Brown, not worse, because you believe. I wanted someone that really was on the opposite side. Okay, so now that we're here, you tell me why not? And I'm not saying I even disagree, really, because I said I was up for debate about the automatic stuff and all. But you tell me why not, though? Why not?
Yeah, he already explained.
Nah,
Why not what?
nah, because it's legal for me to have a gun. So just because this particular gun takes extra bullets and is larger and can fire a lot of rounds in 1 minute, like, so it's capable of, you know, killing more people in a more efficient, lesser amount of time. But other than that, you know, if I'm buying a gun legally and I'm going about it the right way, why can't I?
No. Well, see, that's the very point. You can, but
Yeah.
I don't think that the general public should be. You know what, man?
I think he is the same
I'm
as me.
all for. They just make it extremely hard to get. You should have to go through a lot. You should have to go through mental health. It's just so many things that they need to do before people are able to get their hands on these weapons. I understand that there are people out there that, you know, because I can and because I want to and because it's fun. But I'm all about the greater good. You know, I think that nothing has worked before. I'm open to, I mean, if they can just do something to make it not so easy. An 18-year-old should not be able to go into a damn store and on their 18th birthday and buy an assault rifle. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about the whole thing.
Nah,
They need to do something because what we've been doing in the past is not working. And all this, and this is just me, all this, well, what about this to kill people? What about this to kill people?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's like it's a bunch of do nothingism. That's not it's not fixing the problem of people getting slaughtered in mass on a consistent basis in this country. And this is the only place in the world this happens at, and supposedly the greatest country in the world.
Right. And I believe that has a lot to do with the societal, you know, crumble in society, because other countries in the world, like I said, don't have problems with obesity and acceptance and tolerance and drugs and walking around on their cell phone and being disrespectful to their parents, you know, shit like that. So, but they're learning from us. So,
We are very good examples right now.
so, shit. There was something you said a minute ago, and I wanted to back it up. You said, well, okay, I can't remember what I was gonna jump in on, but I do agree with you. Like I said earlier, and someone, Jay Rilla, just said that you should require military training to get a military grade weapon. Thanks. Here's AJ says you don't trust an 18-year-old with the beard, just give him an AK. Now, when you said an 18-year-old can go into a store and buy a weapon, now I do agree with you on that, but by the same standard, the powers that be that run this entire country will give you a weapon, right? Exactly. Will give you a weapon for free and send you somewhere to die for standards of which they believe.
Yeah, hell, I was 17 when I went in.
So yeah. So then that's an argument there. And should you be 21 to go into the military? And honestly, I have always felt that you should be a little bit older, you know, to go into the military. But that's another argument too. and you know a drinking age, because in other countries people can drink when they're 12 also. So it's not a problem. So well, what do you collect? Like, what are you into?
Well, I'm not an enthusiast. I have 9mm and a 22.
No, I mean in general.
Say again?
In general.
Not
You mean
only
what do you
guns.
said? What do you mean? I don't collect. I just have. I have.
No,
I
no,
have
no,
a-
not
I have
guns.
a couple firearms.
No, not guns. Just in general, anything. Not guns. Just what do you collect? Like, what are you into?
Like a toy or a
No,
figure.
I'm in video games. Xbox, Series X, PlayStation 5. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you're the best example, so I don't want to like keep asking you a bunch of questions. But like, okay, so you're really into games, all right? And I'm really into movies. So if you ever come over to my house, the one, if only thing that you're gonna say is, "God damn, dude, you got a lot of fucking movies. Like, why? This don't even make any fucking sense." And I promise you that. So why do I need 2,000 fucking DVDs in an entire room? Am I even gonna watch all of those movies? Probably not. I'm not ever gonna watch any of that. And you know what? I don't play games, and I'm not a gamer, but I do have an Atari 2600. I got a game. I ain't even ever played a fucking GameCube, but I have a GameCube. I've got the same Sega Genesis that I had when Sega Genesis came out. I got a PlayStation 1. I've got an Xbox, and then I stopped collecting. So what sense does that fucking make? And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because the people that are into those weapons. Because, right, what the fuck do you look like a goddamn lunatic to somebody else. You got 2,000 DVDs and a whole room dedicated to that shit when there's 8 people in one room trying to sleep in some places on Earth. You know what I mean? So, like, you look insane. I have a lot of fucking shoes. Like, who needs that many fucking shoes? You can't wear them all at the same time. Ain't nobody ever gonna see them. You ain't even got shirts and hats to match all them fucking shoes. So you don't need them. And that is my only argument with guns. It's like you can legally, but I do agree with you that, like I said earlier, because it is a weapon and because it can kill people, blah, 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 you should have to take tests and stuff like that. And like I said earlier, if you buy an automatic weapon or you buy something that is capable of more damage, maybe the reason that license costs more is because you also have to take a psychological evaluation, or you have to do something else, and you have to be held more accountable for having these weapons. And they are registered. You know, the law, everyone knows that you have these guns in your house and that you qualify to carry these things. And like in my instance, by no means am I a criminal, but I am the furthest thing from criminal element like there could possibly be. I'm a person who cares about humans and things like that. I do have a solid temper, but I would not pull a gun on someone. I have no interest in taking someone's life at all. And I've never done anything to suggest that either, but I am not legally able. I don't deserve the right to protect my life against someone who did not go through those proper channels. And that's the part that we agree on for sure. We definitely agree on that.
Can I say one more thing? Because I gotta go to bed.
For sure. Yeah, me too.
I just want to say one more thing. Like, I'm not, me saying ban them. I'm willing to compromise. If we're having a conversation, I just think that there should, like you said, there should be more training. There should be licensing. You just have to re-qualify, and even I think we should even go to the point of people having to get a mental evaluation. I know a lot of people aren't going to like that.
Right.
It'll make the process a little longer, but that would be at least something to where these incidents aren't continuously happening. That's it. And that's all I got, man. I got to be to work at 8, man.
Yeah, me too. I feel you. I agree, and I appreciate you chiming in, man. You can watch it later to see what I said about you after the fact.
No problem, man.
All right.
Y'all have a good one, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I gotta go pick up some stuff.
All right, cool.
Bye.
All right. King Solo says, no matter the weapon, people will find a new one. Sad to say, yeah, that's true for sure. Put the games and movies, at least games don't require the discipline not to hurt someone, and they're not capable of really hurting anyone but that individual if they, for sure. Yeah, I want to go to bed too. Well, there you see people that, and then at the end he said he was willing to compromise and stuff, and I am too, because I said earlier at the beginning that I was kind of open about the whole automatic thing, because yes, I will agree that no normal person needs to have that. No regular civilian needs to have that, but also no normal civilian needs to have 30 cars. No normal civilian needs to have 5 boats. No normal civilian needs to have 2,000 DVDs. So it's not up to you to decide someone's interest, even though some of those objects are capable of killing someone, especially in the wrong hands. But that wasn't necessarily the debate. But if you do have a weapon that is substantial, of much more damage, then yes, I do 100% agree. I don't think that anyone would disagree that should be something that would not be positive. Some people would argue, oh, blah, 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 well, then you just don't get a gun. If ain't nothing wrong with you and you are mentally stable and stuff like that, and you're able to have a firearm but you can't get an automatic weapon, then appeal it, go to court, get a lawyer, I guess. I don't know. But we got to be fair. We got to have something at some point where we compromise, like Brown was willing to do, Hison. Like Hison Brown was willing to do, and say, okay, well, I don't agree, but let's sit down and see what we can come up with, as long as we don't have to be to bed at 7 in the morning or be up at 6. You know what the fuck I'm saying. So yeah, not that there's any, I'm a fan of mental health. And there's a lot of aspects of the conversation, because it is very complicated, and it is something that we're not going to finish, and there is no end solution, and it is after 12 o'clock. But we could go on for days, and I'm willing to do so. But we got to be able to accomplish something, and I want to be in front of a lot of people that matter. With every one of you guys too. Okay, I'd like to know his MOS can't legally buy automatic rifle, but everyone thinks an air says weapon is automatic. What if the hey Ryan, since Ryan, you're welcome to call in now. Since we talked to Hison, I'll talk to you too, Ryan. You can call in now. It's your turn. I wanted to address y'all's conversation and stuff. But what did the 2A was so permissive? Well, I do think that there should be more strict things on getting guns, particularly of a higher caliber or capable of more destruction. There should be tighter security in certain places, but you can't secure definitely schools and hospitals are a place, because of children and mass gatherings. But you got to protect the whole world, all the time. So there's only but so much you can do. Getting rid of guns is definitely not the answer. The criminal element, there's nothing you can do to get rid of the criminal element. Guns are going to exist, and even if there weren't guns, it would be something else, just if we were magically able to. But as long as the military and law has guns, criminals will too. And there's nothing you can do about that. So, and that's a real big concern. That's one of the big bottom lines, is that there's no way to remove weapons. Well, there's no way to remove the criminal element, period, or that psychological profile. There's no way to eliminate that. at all. Period. Ever. Never will be. And to blame guns for the mental instability or whatever the case may be, because if it wasn't that, it would be something else. I think I addressed the thing with the chart for the justifiable homicides and the 35 criminal homicides. I wasn't trying to make light, and I know that that's not literal. All I'm saying is that criminals know, and if there's anything that criminals know is weaknesses in their targets, for the most part. And one of the biggest things that a coward, one of the biggest things that a weaker individual is going to look for is the biggest thing that they can do. So if they think that you don't have a weapon, you're elderly, you're a woman, you're a child, whatever the case may be, is that the gun is going to solve, all of the problems in the world. And they figure that it's easy prey. And criminals case a joint, they watch a place, they don't typically just run in. And in some cases they do. But in those cases, and I guarantee you, like I know this, they don't plan on being met with any return of force. They don't plan on someone having a gun. They don't plan on anyone being trained. So that's why crime happens. Crimes don't happen and people don't die because of guns. People get killed because of people. So anyway, I take it this is Ryan. Hello? Yeah, so this is Ryan.
They don't plan on someone having a gun. They don't plan on anyone being trained.
Hello? It's just me and you now.
Crimes don't happen and people don't die because of guns.
Hello?
Who's saying hello?
Yeah, to you, Ryan. This is Ryan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're here now. What's going on?
Who's this? Hassan?
What? No, this is the show. Is this Ryan? This is the show. Did you not call into the show?
Yeah, it sounds like two people are talking.
Oh yeah, because you gotta turn the background down because of the delay.
This is Ryan, right?
Yeah, so you gotta turn the back down, yeah.
So we're here now. What's going on? What?
I don't know who was laughing.
This is the
You
show.
gotta turn the background down.
Show. Did you not call into the show?
I did call in. I'm not sure how to turn no background down. My TV's off.
Oh yeah, because you
Oh
gotta
shit.
turn the background down because of the.
Who this is?
It's Ryan, but there's like a feedback.
You gotta turn the background. I don't know who's laughing.
Yeah, see, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, so okay, thanks a lot, Ryan, for taking us into the Matrix.
Oh my god, I have no clue what the fuck is going on.
All right, so
Thank you for watching.
yeah, thanks for watching and calling in. Okay, so I think we can work through this. It's not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
That was
And
entertaining though, because
this
if it's
is
one
not-
thing I like, it's being in the Matrix.
And this is not normal show. Like normally more like showing.
Yeah,
product.
normally we're just fucking off and like
Yeah,
being
no.
drunk and shit and smoking and all, but now we got to be all serious. Of course, the first time you watch, it's got to be some crazy shit. But all right, so I want to get your 2 cents too. So what is your thing? What upset you about Hison?
Being in the Matrix.
And this is not normal show. Like normally more like showing.
Yeah, normally we're just fucking off and like being drunk and shit and smoking and all, but now we gotta be all serious. That's the first time we watch this.
So we have to wait for the delay.
Okay.
And then I gotta be quiet.
So I want to get your 2 cents too. So your thing. What upset you about Hison?
I don't remember all that, but what I will say, I was arguing most of the time was you have to get a background check on a pistol. Usually 3 to 5 days, sometimes a couple hours.
Yeah.
But you have to get that background check on rifles, or whatever he keeps calling assault rifles.
Right.
I
Well,
think assault rifles, hunting rifles, whatever, that should be the same background check. This is coming from 23 years of military experience, just retired.
thank you for your service.
Thank you. Living in South Carolina, Wisconsin, New York, fuck New York. I have plenty of weapons, and to say I can't own an AR-15, fuck that, because I have a couple,
Right.
and they're not automatic. So I hate people saying like assault rifles are all automatic, and they're not. I can block whatever with 20-round magazines.
So what do you feel about automatic then? Do you have any difference of opinion on that?
No, not really. I mean, if you want to have an automatic rifle, which is illegal, I mean, I know you can shake down the steering pin and you can do modifications to the fucking hammer, but that's illegal.
So why do you like having guns? Or why do you feel like, why do you like having that stuff? What do you do with them?
Because I like shooting guns. I like going to the range, zeroing it in. I like the feel of it. I'm teaching my son how to shoot. Like, just rifle discipline.
And you're in the military for a long time and dealing with guns and stuff, so you got pretty familiar with that and the rifle and the weapon being a part of you. And it's something that you have just become accustomed to and kind of became a hobby. And you enjoy the difference and the different textures and the different metals and the smell of the oil and the entire experience, right? Just like rolling a blunt. Like it's the gut in the blunt, smoking the blunt, the ashes, the coffin, everything, right?
Yes, all right. Back to YouTube. I can't hear you smoked out. I hear whoever I'm talking to on the phone.
Well, it's both of us. I know it's a crazy delay. We deal with it too. It's weird because usually you can like turn your TV or your phone down and then like you won't hear the feedback and it's just me and you talking. So that's weird. It's the first time it's happened for us too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't hear him at all. Just you.
Well, it is just me. What you're hearing is a stupid feedback. So it sounds like there's two of me, but it's not.
No, it's crazy.
So no, I'm curious. What's your MOS?
It's weird because
Oh no, not me, Hison. I'm not in the military. And Hison's not on the phone. It's just me. It's just me, and then you keep hearing the fucking loop. But Hison's just on the comments. But
So
he.
I'm kind of fucked up.
Oh no, it's cool. It's all right. I am too. But Hison did say he did 20 years and he was deployed 5 times, and then he said that he didn't feel his MOS was relevant, but he had difference of opinions and it was okay.
MOS is definitely relevant.
Well, you know, not to me. I don't know. Cause I'm not military, so I don't know.
I
But
get that. This is his MOS.
yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if he's still watching, but Hison, if you know, if that's up to you about the MOS, I don't know. But Hison did say that he was down for that he would be willing to compromise and felt that, you know, maybe more higher power weapons would be acceptable with more strict licensing and, you know, being a little harder to get, which, you know, I don't see why that would you be all right with that? Would that be something like if all of a sudden?
No, I completely agree. I went to my home state, Michigan, last summer. I bought a handgun, and they told me I couldn't buy, I think it was like another handgun for another week.
So
I asked them, hey, can I buy these 5 shotguns, these 3 AR-15 weapons all right now? I was like, yeah. I was like, there's no background check for that? No. I think it's wrong.
Now, let's say you could just buy all of those at one time, but you would have to obtain a license for each specific grade of weapon. So, like, let's say you bought three ARs, right? So you would have to pay $100 or $300. Let's say $300 license for the first AR that you ever bought, but then you would only have to pay 100 or 50 or something for every additional AR that you bought just to be registered and whatever fee they wanted to make up. Now, would you fight or argue against a stricter licensing and having to take like a test, or not every time, but the first time that you purchased a separate grade of weapon?
No, not at all. I mean, I've taken two separate weapon carry courses, and every time you buy a pistol in Michigan, you have to take another little test. But the test, you could be almost mentally retarded, mentally handicapped, and test. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I would have no problem doing that.
So you would agree that it is too easy to obtain some of these higher power weapons, and that it would be logical to make them a little more difficult to get or more responsible.
No, for sure. Long rifles should be the same as pistols. I would have no problem with that whatsoever.
Well, cool. Well, I think that kind of sums up the bulk of the conversation this evening, is that if people would sit down and have some kind of conversation or some sort of an understanding, because that's exactly what Hison said too. At the end of the conversation, before we hung up, he said, I got to go to bed, but before I go, I would say that he would be open to, more regulations, that if you want to own more of those guns, that's fine, but you need to take more tests and be, not you, but, more stricter guidelines and stuff, which I agree with as well. So it doesn't seem like, people want to get angry and upset with each other, but really we are on the same page. We really are in agreement,
I agree, but the same thing goes back to, if somebody's going to do something, they're going to do it. They're going to get what they want.
And that's true. People are going to do whatever they're going to do. It's a fucking rowboat, So that's true. So, well, cool, man. Well, I do sincerely appreciate you watching, and I hope that you watch in the future on a more just entertaining episode that's not dealing with topics, because usually we're just about some bullshit. Hey, man. Well, I really appreciate it. And where do I live?
Yeah.
Just down the street from the store.
All right, so right now I'm in West Virginia, heading to Michigan. I just retired from the military.
Okay.
I'll be back in like 2 weeks. I'm getting a sleeve tattoo. You want to link up, smoke some weed? I'm down with it.
Well, are you on our Facebook or anything? You on our other social medias?
Yeah, Facebook I am for sure. This is the first live shit I watched. Like, I'm fucked up right now, so I was like, let me check out this shit on YouTube. So I was like, down with it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I bought the fucking bongs and pipes in that store since I retired.
Oh, cool. Well, definitely. I'm at the store, pretty much every day. But if you're on our social medias, our Facebook, the official 7 Cents Facebook goes directly to me. So I'm really easy to find. Yeah, definitely follow up with me, because when you're in town, it's always good to put a face with a name. I'm never against meeting somebody, so it would be really cool to shake your hand, and always the ultimate love for a patron. So for sure.
I'm going to Michigan, free weed state, not free weed, but you can buy it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, definitely keep in touch, and we will see you soon.
See you.
All right, awesome.
All right, man.
Good night.
All right.
Bit of a rough start, but it worked out. And I oh shit.
Him.
I think it's okay though.
What's that?
Mm.
It's polite.
Hello? Hello? Oh yeah, see, it's just the delay. It's
Okay.
alright, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, there you go. And that's where two people right there was disagreeing and hot on some shit, and all I did is sit here and say, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And then like they pretty much ended up agreeing. And there, a proven point. I got to drop the mic 2 times. Drop a mic 2 times. But for real, I did drop the mic 2 times because I feel like I really completed my statements. My whole shit brought full circle 2 times. So I got some people to agree and stated my point on why you need a weapon. Hey, there's a bunch of messages retracted. Oh, I can't review those messages. Donnell, what are you doing? So Donnell came in here. Donnell, I thought we was cool. You would come in here and say a bunch of stuff and then take it all back. I can't even. Well, thanks, Donnell. Hey, yeah, somebody I know saying some stuff and then I can't even say. Got by the delay. What's happening? Yeah, that Matrix. I'm pretty sure you can easily get a kid to make certain guns, but you can 3D print a gun, huh?
My energy is almost gone.
My energy's gone too.
It's already 12:30.
Already 12:30.
And I don't even speak. I'm
I
just
know.
listening.
Crazy. Yeah, earlier Tommy said, hey, if you don't want any guns, go to Japan. Move to Japan. But you know what? In Japan, people kill themselves for doing a bad job and dishonoring their family, not because of other things. So there within lies that crumble in society, and I would blame guns before I would blame society, because we have issues that run far deeper than the access of weapons in this country. Cheers, so we can end the show, everybody.
Yes.
If you're watching and have been watching and still watching, we got to do a giveaway. I had this last week and I didn't give it away. It's a 14 millimeter water piece, silicone that looks like a torch. The bowl goes right here. It just doesn't have the bowl on it right now. But let me write down a number right quick so you can at least have a giveaway. Some prize for the show. And it's going to be a number in the 50s, a number between 50 and 60. Comment one number, comment one time. If someone right below you comments the same number, you can pick something else. Otherwise, you'll be disqualified. Choose a number between 50 and 60, and you can get that silicone water piece for free for sitting here this whole time. So ultimately, I feel like most everyone, at least watching tonight, agreed pretty much on the same thing. As a gun advocate, I do believe that for higher power weapons, there should be further licensing and more strict. For people that don't believe in the guns and things like that, it's a hell of a lot easier to see someone coming onto a school campus or coming to do some damage if they're carrying a big ass fucking piece of log than a damn, small firearm. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. If someone is going to do some real damage, they either have to carry a large thing, several large things, or a case or some sort of sack to put them in. So that's actually a good thing.
No.
We can't remove the criminal element. There's nothing we can do about that. I think I pretty well stated my case on why guns are a necessary evil. I won't deny that guns are not a positive thing, but they are a necessary evil that occurs once in a while, because when there is an opposing force, it must be met with an opposing force. That's just law of nature, of the universe. That is a primal law that exists within the universe, that if there is a fire, it has to meet another fire. Until it meets another fire, it will not stop. Whether you believe in God or not, like stars, the universe, gravity, invented that shit. There's nothing to counteract that, and it's on a spiritual elemental. It boils all the way down to our blood. There is nothing that you can do in existence to deny or argue. You can't. It is beyond. It is an ethereal. It is something that is undeniable, unquestionable, and arguable. There is nothing that you can do. A piece of ice has to meet a piece of ice. A fire has to meet fire. There's nothing that something can't do against something else without being taken over or destroyed. I feel like we established that we have to be able to agree to disagree and meet in the middle, which we can clearly do. Us as a small people, we can do it very easily. So on a large scale, should be even easier because it's a much smaller group of people. But they won't, because they don't have the larger group's best interest at heart. Stricter things. Not banning guns altogether. I think that's all the things that we covered. So I think it's the end of the show.
Yes.
I'm not seeing anything else. Muskets are an assault rifle. Noah got the water pipe. Yeah, good night, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. See you later. Okay, thanks for watching.
Thank you.
See you next week, if not before then. Appreciate it.